All rise. Support court with Judge Vanda B is now in session. Judge's case number JVB 2001, Allen case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Miss Allen, you're back. It looks like you brought someone with you. What's going on?
King. So he's my nephew's father.
Okay.
And I need help, Mom's paying child support. I feel it's only fair that Dad pays child support for, his child.
Okay. And you said for your nephew, if I remember correctly, there were 2 children, right?
Yes, he's just the father of the 4-year-old.
All right.
Yes.
All right. But you said he was around. I
He
remember
does,
you saying
and
that.
he even dropped off some school supplies. He brought him a backpack and he got him, the scissors and Crayolas and stuff, but he didn't help with school clothes.
All right. Right. Have you ever asked him to help with school clothes or do anything more?
He knows school starts,
So that's a no.
That's a no.
Okay.
Miss Allen begins by expressing frustration with the father's lack of involvement. Despite dropping off school supplies, he hasn't contributed to other needs, like clothing for his son. She's frustrated, rightfully so, and points out his inconsistency. The question we have to ask is, why does he only show up when it's convenient for him? Do you think it's enough to send supplies but not help with school clothes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
How do you know he knows that school started?
Because the summer just ended and the school starts and he knows his baby's gonna go to, kinder. He knows that the baby's starting pre-K. So, he brought school supplies. Why wouldn't he think to bring school clothes?
Well, that's true. That's true. You all have a decent relationship, though.
We do. And he's, he's sometimey. He comes, when he wants.
That was funny.
Just listening to her, that's it.
Okay. All right. I'll get to you in just a second, okay?
Yes,
all
ma'am.
right. Continue.
Basically, that's it, My sister's not doing her part. He does sometimey part, and, it's just getting old.
Okay.
My nephew deserves more.
So at this point, you are wanting to place...
Miss Allen goes on to point out that her nephew deserves more. More attention, more support, more involvement from his father. And while we can feel her frustration, it's important to consider, is it fair to expect a father to do more without having been fully involved up to this point? There's a lot of tension in the air as Miss Allen stands firm, requesting child support to ensure her nephew gets what he needs. This could be a turning point in this case. Will the father step up?
Him on child support?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I don't know if... Have you talked to him before today? Because I don't know if he knew this because he has this look on his face and shaking his head. You haven't discussed this with him?
We haven't.
Yeah,
we haven't.
Where is this coming from?
Not that you legally have to, you don't,
well, okay,
but...
he knows that Mom is paying child support. He knows that my sister's paying me child support for her 2 kids. I think it's only fair he pay child support for 1 kid. He had to have known this was coming. He knew that I had put my sister on child support.
Okay.
I knew that?
I think you did.
You think I did?
I think you did.
Okay.
All right. All right. So is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to him? Because it seems like he has a lot to say.
Let's hear what he's got to say.
Okay. Sir, is
Yes,
your
ma'am.
last name King or your first name King?
First name's King.
First name is King. What's your last name?
Jackson.
Okay, Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, the father, continues to insist he's blind to the situation, claiming he hadn't been informed about the specifics of the case. He deflects, trying to paint himself as an innocent party. But Miss Allen cuts right through. His defense, there's no excuse for not being aware of his legal responsibilities. This is where the drama reaches a boiling point. Is he really unaware, or is he simply avoiding the truth?
What's going on here?
You guys tell me. I don't know what's going on here.
You were unaware of the reason that you were coming to court today?
Yeah, I'm just here.
Okay, you got served with paperwork. Did you read it?
No.
So you just showed up without reading? You just came to court not knowing what was going on?
Well, I'm not gonna miss court, so.
Well, I can appreciate that. Thank you. You're about the first person that has come in here and recognize that you should come to court when you are ordered to come to court. But you didn't read the paperwork, so you're not aware of anything.
I'm in the blind about all this, and nothing was discussed or anything like that. Just prior to, I sent you a text message here. I think I still got it.
You sent her a text message?
Now we get into some real contradictions. Mr. Jackson claims he's been an amazing father, but his actions don't seem to match the words. He says he picks up his son, takes him out to eat, and buys supplies. But there's a stark difference between buying a backpack and helping with the essentials, like clothing. What does being an amazing father really mean here? Is it about presence, or is it about responsibility? This is where things start to feel uncomfortable. He's good when it's easy, but what about when it's hard?
Yeah, we communicate. We communicate back and forth.
Okay.
So for her to say that I'm inconsistent, I don't know where she's getting that from.
Well, how would you describe, you going and seeing your son and everything like that?
Oh, I'm an amazing father, but of course, when you get in court, it's something totally different. So. Yeah.
What do you mean by amazing father? Like, explain that to me.
How often do you come and pick up your son?
Excuse me, Miss Allen.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
And I know you know better. You've been here before.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Don't be sorry.
Thank you, Judge.
Just don't do it.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Now,
Thank you,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Jackson.
Yes.
You're welcome. Continue.
Being an amazing father, I go pick up my kids whenever I have the opportunity to. I do work at a bank here as a financial advisor.
All right.
So my schedule is not, it doesn't permit me to go pick them up like I would like to, but
Mr. Jackson continues to defend himself, describing his role as a father, but it doesn't add up. He mentions how he works as a financial advisor and has a busy schedule, which makes it difficult to pick up his child regularly. But here's the thing. If he's truly invested in his child's life, wouldn't he make it a priority? His words suggest more about his own convenience than his son's needs. Do you think his busy work schedule is a valid excuse, or does it sound like a convenient way to avoid responsibility?
Through our text message and everything like that, I'm able to communicate with her and go pick them up. As she said before, dropping them off, picking them up, taking them out to eat, buying school supplies.
Wait a minute, just so I'm clear. So she has custody of both of her sister's kids. Mm-hmm. Are you taking both of the kids? Or you?
No.
Okay.
Mine.
You just taking your son?
Yes.
Okay, because you said kids, so I didn't know if this was this child or you had outside children.
No. Well, just this one.
Okay. Okay, I got you. I follow you.
Yeah.
And
so,
that matters, because if you're going to be put on child support, you will get credit for any other children that you have. You said you work at a bank. How much money do you make?
say about $60K a year.
Okay. All right. So you pick up your son,
Things heat up as Mr. Jackson tries to throw shade on Miss Allen and her sister, calling them money hungry in a tone that feels both dismissive and defensive. But here's the problem. His actions don't align with his words. Calling her out for being financially demanding while dodging his own responsibilities shows a lack of self-awareness. How can he point fingers when he hasn't stepped up as a father? This moment is filled with contradictions, and you can't help but feel the tension rising. What do you think? Who's in the wrong here? Is Mr. Jackson truly the victim of a system, or is he failing his child?
taking places, you do things with him?
Yes,
Do you buy him clothes and everything like that for your home?
of course.
Okay. As far as Aunt's home though, Miss Allen's home, you don't.
I can't speak for our household. I
Okay.
can only speak for my household and when I have them. So
All
I
right.
can get that out. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel about knowing that you're here today to be placed on child support at her request?
I think it's a waste of time, honestly. I think we could have settled out of court for all this, but hey, you got to go through the process. So let's go through it.
Okay, have you been giving her any financial assistance for your son up until now?
Yes,
All right, how have you been giving her financial assistance?
whenever she asks.
Okay. How frequent do you ask him?
I don't like to ask frequently because I feel like he knows his child has needs, wants even, and I don't have to pick up the phone and say, hey, your child's gonna eat today. Hey, look, I even brought my electricity bill. You know, like water,
This is
electricity, gas, $435 for electricity. I mean,
What does your bill have to do with my child?
your child lives in my home
Once
and
again.
uses this electricity. You know, watching TV.
Mr. Jackson continues to deflect responsibility by implying that you guys do what you do, throwing a bit of shade towards the aunt and her sister's methods. Is this a subtle attack or just frustration speaking out? It's interesting how he's backing off from addressing the real issue, his role as a father. It seems like there's a deeper tension here between the families. But is this really the time to bring it up? He's been asked to step up for his child, and it's all about whether or not he's ready to take on the financial commitment, not settle scores. What's your take on this? Is this just family drama, or does he have a point?
TV or the enjoyment of the air conditioner, you know? I mean, it's just your child, you should pay.
Okay.
Financially.
Once again, you didn't answer the question.
You're not, you don't, if you're not gonna sit your child, if you're not gonna take care of your child and have your child with you, well then you can pay financially.
Okay.
Right?
I choose to have my child with me, but hey, you know how you guys do.
Oh.
What does that mean? You guys do. What does that mean?
I'm not gonna get into that.
Oh, okay. But I asked you to. So what does that mean?
Yes, Your Honor. As I said before, I think I'm an amazing dad. Her and her sister. How can I say it without being rude? They have certain ways about them.
I could kind of tell that from the last time that they were here.
They have certain.
The tension only rises as Ms. Allen keeps pressing him about his financial support. She points out that he should have been providing for his child's needs without having to be asked repeatedly. This is where the drama really lies. Why is it on the aunt to make the first move when it comes to financial support? The lack of consistency in Mr. Jackson's actions is hard to ignore, and it creates doubt about his true level of commitment. As Ms. Allen lays it out, the burden has fallen on her, and it's clear she's frustrated by it. Can we blame her for expecting more from the father? Or does she have a point about not always needing to ask?
Certain ways about them. A little money hungry, if you want to say that. I'm gonna say that and not use the other term. But hey, teach his own. Teach his own.
Okay. And she said some things about the electricity bill and everything like that.
Correct.
Do you think that child support should be determined or spent on those expenses?
No, child support is for the child. Me paying your bills, you have another child there, you probably have other dudes there, that's not my responsibility. So
Do you think she was asking you to pay those bills?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she need help.
Miss Allen, were you asking him to pay those bills, or what
No,
exactly
Judge,
was?
I want him to just get the knowledge that, your child lives in a household. You are not contributing to that household, so therefore you contribute financially to your child, so that your child is taken care of.
Okay.
So that when school comes, there's school clothes and there's backpacks and new shoes and
Okay.
Right.
Well, I think I understand where both of you are coming from. It's just ironic that, not that you have to have an agreement outside of court, right? That's not a requirement or anything like that. But considering that you all seem to have somewhat of a decent relationship, I just would think this would be a conversation that you all had first to try to see what.
The entire courtroom feels the tension as Mr. Jackson plays the blame game, pointing fingers at Ms. Allen and her sister. But all the finger pointing and excuses won't change the fact that he's been called out for not doing enough. He has an opportunity to make things right. But is he doing enough to prove he is committed to being a part of his child's life? At this point, the focus needs to shift back to the child's needs. And it's clear that no matter how Mr. Jackson wants to justify his behavior, the consequences are real. Do you think it's time for him to step up, or is this an ongoing struggle for him?
You can work out, but nonetheless, we are here today. Do you have access to health insurance?
I do.
All right. Do you know how much it'll cost you to put your son on health insurance?
I don't have an exact number, but I'm pretty sure anywhere between $300, $400
Okay.
a month.
All right. Is it possible that it could be cheaper than $300?
Once again, I'm not sure. I have to go through and find out there, but pretty standard there. I believe it's about $300, $400. I think it might be cheaper, but I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Jackson, this is what we are going to do. We are going to place you on child support today. I mean, at the end of the day, the law is the law. You do have a responsibility to financially support your child, any children that you may have. Your child is living with his aunt. She should receive some sort of financial support in caring for your son, just like the mother does, all right? You understand what I'm saying? So it's not to punish you or anything like that, but she is entitled to receive some sort of support for taking care of your child, all right? Now, child support is, go ahead.
So all the cash apps and everything that I have here and all the text messages and everything, that means nothing, correct?
No, you haven't told me that. You haven't told me. I mean, I asked, how much have you been giving her?
Like I said.
At this point, the court is starting to lose patience, and it's clear the stakes are high. Mr. Jackson's repeated failure to take full responsibility for his child's well-being is becoming a glaring issue. The judge's frustration is palpable, and the overall tone of the courtroom feels tense. When does a parent's good intentions become an excuse for neglect? Mr. Jackson's insistence that he's doing his best sounds more like a defense mechanism than genuine accountability. Could this be a case where good intentions aren't enough and action is what's truly needed? This is a crucial moment. For Mr. Jackson, he has the opportunity to prove his commitment. But will he rise to the occasion, or will he continue to deflect?
And whenever she asks,
what does that mean? Like, numerically, how does that look?
What, an extra $250 to $500?
A month?
Yeah, say that.
Okay, and the last time you were here, I believe you said your nephew had been with you, let me see, I have my notes here, 9 months at the time.
250, there's no way. 250 to 500, there's no way.
Okay.
He'll send like $20 here, $30 here, $40. I've never received a payment more than $50, ever.
Never?
So is it possible
sure?
that, excuse me.
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I'll let you
Okay.
guys talk the first time. Now I'm talking. So is it possible that the $250 to $500 is a total based?
As the court session continues, the focus shifts back to the financial contributions, or rather, the lack thereof. Mr. Jackson's reluctance to accept the court's ruling could have major consequences for him. How much longer can he justify his lack of involvement before it starts to affect his relationship with his son? The idea of financial stability is at the core of the issue, and it's no longer about just being a father in the emotional sense. It's about providing for the future. At this point, it seems that Mr. Jackson needs to realize that true fatherhood isn't just about spending time. It's also about securing his child's future. This may be the tipping point where he's forced to acknowledge the full extent of his responsibilities. What do you think should happen next? Is it time for Mr. Jackson to step up once and for all?
On sending smaller amounts? Is that possible?
Sure.
Because she's saying she hasn't received that in a month.
And like I said, my electricity bill was $430
Once
a
again,
month.
that's not my responsibility.
It's not, but your child lives in my home.
Okay, you keep talking about your bills. You need to
Okay,
focus
well,
on my
let me
child,
just clear
okay?
this up. The bills don't matter, okay? I mean, I get what you're saying. I
Yes.
understand. The child lives there. There
It was
are
just,
things that
you know.
you have to pay for. I get it.
I was just saying.
His child support is not going to be paid based on your electricity
Absolutely.
bill, your gas bill, any of those
But
bills
he
that
wants
you
to
brought
sit here
today.
and say $250 to $500. That's probably been in a year. And what I was just trying to say is, come on, come on. $500 in a
now.
year, that's
Come
not
on now.
much.
Well, she did ask for back child support too, so that's the reason that I asked what it was that you had paid her.
You can take $500 off. Fine.
$500 off
From
the back pay?
Yeah. I'll
Okay,
give him
now
that.
you do understand that back pay starts
him that.
from the day that you filed.
As the courtroom drama continues to unfold, the tension is palpable. Mr. Jackson's refusal to acknowledge his responsibilities is now impossible to ignore. The more he tries to justify his lack of action, the more the weight of his choices is revealed. His stance is not only a challenge to the court, but also to the very idea of what it means to be a father. It's clear that his son's future is hanging in the balance, and the judge's growing frustration is becoming a reflection of society's own disappointment in Mr. Jackson's actions. The court has been patient, but how much more will they tolerate before making a final judgment? This isn't just about money or legalities anymore. This is a moral battle. The question that lingers: can Mr. Jackson come to terms with his mistakes? Or is it too late for him to regain the trust of the court and, more importantly, his son?
Right? She hasn't filed, it's been fairly recent since she filed. So taking $500 off, that'll probably put you around $2,000 in back pay. And you can pay that back at $100 a month, okay? So this is what we're gonna do. What I'll do is give you credit. I can give you $200 credit for health insurance. Now, if your health insurance ends up being more than that, I can't just say, okay, I'll give you credit for $300 or even more than that without seeing what the actual health insurance premium is going to look like for your son only. So I give you credit for $200, okay?
Okay.
All right, so if I do that with your gross, that brings your gross to $4,800, which means your net is $3,979.47. And you said you have one child, correct?
Have one, expecting one.
Okay, so you have one child that's already here.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So that is $3,979.47. That's 20%, $795.89. We'll round it up to $796. Plus $100 a month for the back pay that you owe. That makes your monthly child support obligation $896 a month. All right?
Thank you, Your
That's
Honor.
ridiculous.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you all,
And
it's
my
based on
nephew's
a number.
gonna thank you too. My
It's-
nephew thanks you too.
Okay,
And he'll
that's
thank
great.
you too.
No, your bills, thank you. That's what it is.
Okay, the two of you
Whatever.
hush, thanks. All right, so, as I stated, it's not a punishment or anything like that. It is strictly based on what your income is. Now, if you guys can work together and you decide you want to do something different, you get an agreement or something like that, I would happily.
Now, as we near the conclusion of the trial, the consequences of Mr. Jackson's actions are becoming undeniable. The emotional stakes are higher than ever. The court is not just weighing legal obligations, it's deciding the fate of a child who has been caught in the middle of this battle. Mr. Jackson's reluctance to accept his role as a father is no longer something the court can ignore. The judge's final words carry the weight of a decision that will have a long-lasting impact on everyone involved. At this point, it's clear that Mr. Jackson is standing at a crossroads, one path leading to redemption, the other leading to irreparable loss. The future of his relationship with his son hangs in the balance, and every moment counts now. This case has exposed the vulnerability of a family and the difficult truths that come with trying to move forward after betrayal. Can Mr. Jackson fix what's been broken? Or is this the end of the road for his chances of being a part of his child's life?
Entertain it. But until then, this is where we're at today. All right? Do you have any questions, Mr. Jackson?
I bet he don't. My
Money hungry, like I said. No, I'm good. I got other priorities right now, so.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for showing up for court, at
Most
least.
definitely.
other
Thank you.
priorities than his son.
Miss
Other
Allen,
priorities
your
other than
only
his son.
That's not your
priority,
business.
you have two
You want your bills
priorities.
paid,
The
right?
first priority is for you to make the request as you did, and the second one is to hush.
Yes, Your
All right?
Honor.
Anything
Your
further?
No, ma'am.
Okay, well, if there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Be sure